Hello, everybody. Johnny Guns Investigation. Got Thursday night, November 2nd. Full story tonight, guys. Hope you're enjoying your week. Friday's tomorrow, weekend's coming up. Definitely can't wait. It's been a long week. So, a story I have tonight is going to touch a lot of our hearts, okay? Especially mine, yours. I would imagine all of our hearts. Three people I want you to remember tonight. Three little souls now, which are three little angels above. 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, little 8-month-old Kaylin. Taken at a very young age out of this world. And you'll never imagine who did it. So when we're babies and we're young kids, the trust that we have on our parents. Me, being a parent of two girls and a grandfather of a little boy. I'd protect them to the end, do whatever I can for them. From the time they're born to the time of end. We do whatever we can for our kids. So a story today about Lindsay Clancy. Very good woman, everybody says. To the community, to her kids. Her husband says, nothing's perfect, he said, but what the perfect wife Lindsay Clancy is. And mother, he said. All of her family, friends, co-workers say the same thing. And Lindsay Clancy's job is a delivery nurse. She delivers babies into this world every single day. In her hands, she holds the precious thing we have in this world every day that can come is a baby. Would you ever imagine her taking her 3 kids from this world? A perfect mother, taking her kids to the park, theme parks, the beach, just enjoying life. Her husband, Patrick Clancy, says that he loves this woman to the end. Wants everybody, even to this day, knowing what she has done, to forgive his wife. Now, Lindsay Clancy's had some problems, with some mental illness, which a lot of us do in this world. And then the worst thing that can ever happen, I think, my personal opinion, guys, everybody has their own opinions. If people know me, and if you do know me, you know that I'm a health freak. I don't put pills in my body. If it's not natural, don't go in. This poor Lindsay Clancy was on 12 different types of medications due to doctors, not herself, prescribed to her by doctors. Okay? Ambien, what she's on. Klonopin is what she's on. Valium, Prozac, Lipitor, Ativan, Ramaron, Seroquel, whatever all this stuff is, and Zoloft. I know what that is. She's on all these types of medications, guys. Now, what do you think can happen? I watch these commercials, take this medication and it cures this, but then you have 25 different side effects. Imagine 12 different types of all these different side effects, or one pill fighting against the other, or whatever happens. Definitely can't be good for the chemical imbalance of your mind taking that kind of medication. I mean, I'm no doctor, okay, guys? I'm no doctor, but it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure this one out. Too many medications. So we have a perfect mom, perfect marriage to Patrick Clancy. 3 kids they had, raising 3 beautiful little kids, enjoying life as a family every day, just living the dream. So now she just didn't freak out because the situation happened and she goes nuts and all of a sudden she kills all 3 of her kids. She started to plan this stuff out. Now, she has depression, psychosis, anxiety. It's just the things that everybody has every day. You know what I mean? We have to cope with things. But unfortunately, this medication, I think, really put her over the edge. So she's looking up online on the easiest way to kill somebody. So she didn't freak out. She's planning this. So she's all there in her head, okay? If you're planning something, you don't just go crazy that second. And then not only that, she's also looking and to see how to treat sociopath and researching on that to see how to be able to treat that. And then she's been planning out on how to murder somebody, which is her kids. So she plans and she maps out again ahead on how long it's going to take her husband, Patrick Clancy, to pick up food and then go to the CVS before he comes home. So she wanted to map it out to timing just perfectly on how long she's going to have to kill her kids. Because she was going to send Patrick Clancy, her husband, to, of course, CVS. I mean, she has to pick up, she is on 12 different types of medications. She has to, he probably goes there every other day, pick up food, come home. And she timed that to see how long it's going to take her to kill her kids. So online, she's looking up the easiest way to kill somebody. Okay, I guess there's websites you can just look up. So the way she killed her poor little kids. Now remember in the beginning of this, so I started out the show, the three people we have to remember today and pray in our prayers every second right now is for the 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-year-old Kaylin. The three kids that think they can trust their mom, who carried them in her womb for 9 months, delivered these kids, fed these kids, bathed these kids, nurtured these kids, how you could take their lives. And the way she did it is with an exercise bungee cords, the little bungee cords. And then she put the bungee cord around their neck and strangled her own kids with an exercise cord. And she planned all this out. She didn't snap. Something didn't go wrong in her head at that second, and she just kills all of her kids. She planned everything out, sent her husband for CVS and food for the timing to come home. So she strangles her kids with an exercise cord. So they're laying on the ground, her poor little kids suffering with her mom. Mom, what are you doing to me? Their loving mom is killing them. Unfortunately, 2 of them didn't die right away. They suffered, okay, to the next day, one of them, the 8-month-old. Now, their nutjob mother, okay, who's claiming that she went crazy and all this pills did this to her, which it might have caused her to go over the edge. I'm not saying it didn't. Starts cutting her wrists. And then the freak jumps out of the 2-story window trying to kill herself. Well, too bad she did not kill herself. She broke her back, her spine, or something there. And now she's paralyzed the rest of her life, but she's still alive, so she could suffer. You know what I mean? Which is probably the best thing, because her killing herself might have been too easy, because she took an exercise cord, this rubber bungee cord, and killed her kids, for God's sakes. There's the devil and the demons in this world. We never knew who they are, when it's ever going to come out, and what they're going to do. A loving mother, her job is delivering babies. Her husband says she's the sweetest and nicest woman in the world. Neighbors and friends love her to death. The whole community loves her to death. But she wanted to kill her kids for some reason, because she claims postpartum depression. So after they had the 8-month-old, she just couldn't take it anymore. She showed no love for her kids. She lost love for the kids. And postpartum depression and psychosis is a major problem, okay? And it's curable, and it can cause people to do things that out of the ordinary and abnormal. And I feel, again, my opinion, we all have our own opinions, This is Johnny Guns Investigations opinion. And now, guys, don't forget, hit that like, subscribe, and let's chat about this. But I do believe when you're taking 12 different types of medications like the doctors have her on, we have a problem to where if you do have an issue with mental illness, that's the kind of thing that's going to push you over the edge. And it looks like it did, because we're going to watch a video with Good Morning America, okay, switching it up a little bit, just a quick little clip of how nice of a woman she is, how she looks, how she acts, how she treated her kids, and very protective of her kids. She wasn't just some crazy woman out there beating her kids, punishing her kids. She was a good woman. She snapped? No. She planned this out. But that's where it goes to tell me she's just started to come down that ladder of the mental illness worse and worse and worse because of the pills. Chemical imbalance, things fighting against each other. Maybe she wanted to start weeding off one, causing some other problems. Who knows? But the three kids that suffered, Cora, Dawson, Kaylin, had to suffer it in the worst way. I mean, imagine being strangled with an exercise cord around your neck and to be able to do that to your kids. So guys, let's chat. Let's see what you have. Let's talk about this. Let's watch this video, see what else is going on, and then we'll talk a little more about this case. All right, give me 1 minute here.
In charge of murdering their 3 children is asking the public to forgive her. Mona Kosarabdi is here with the story. Good morning, Mona.
George, good morning. Patrick Clancy says losing his children has been unimaginably painful. The oldest, just 5 years old. But he also spoke of Lindsay's deteriorating condition and said nothing matched the intense love the real Lindsay had for her kids.
This morning, the husband of the Massachusetts woman accused of killing their 3 children says he forgives her and is asking others to do the same. Patrick Clancy making a heartfelt statement on GoFundMe, saying, quote, "The real Lindsay was generously loving and caring towards everyone, me, our kids, family, friends, and her patients." Our affiliate, WCVB, spoke to a family member.
They were just beautiful, beautiful children.
According to police, Patrick Clancy called 911 Tuesday after his wife Lindsay attempted suicide. First responders then found his kids, ages 5, 3, and 8 months old, unconscious inside the home with traumatic injuries. 2 of the children died that same day, the 8-month-old a few days later. Lindsay is currently hospitalized, facing murder and assault charges.
Before a defense can be started or even discussions of trial, she has to be proven competent to stand trial and to be able to aid in her defense.
In his post, Patrick Clancy writes about the couple's relationship, saying in part, quote, "Nothing matched her intense love for our kids and dedication to being a mother. It was all she ever wanted. Her passion taught me how to be a better father." Lindsay, who worked as a labor and delivery nurse, was open about her struggles with postpartum depression. According to the Boston Globe, she wrote on Facebook 6 weeks after the birth of her 3rd child, she was feeling dialed in after focusing on her fitness and nutrition.
This is depression that can present as low mood, low energy, decreased motivation.
Both postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis are conditions that can occur after childbirth. However, postpartum psychosis is rare and can lead to suicidal or homicidal thoughts. Postpartum depression is not a risk factor for postpartum psychosis.
And authorities haven't commented on Lindsay's mental health, but say everything is being looked into. It's also important to note that in the U.S., we don't have any particular legislation that addresses postpartum psychosis, George.
Okay, Mona, thanks very much. This has been our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jen Ashen. Mona had an important distinction there, postpartum psychosis, postpartum depression.
Yeah, so first some medical terminology, George. Psychosis, the definition is impaired judgment, impaired reality testing. It is rare, 1 in 500 to 1 in 1,000. And it is a true medical emergency. This is mental illness. It can present with signs and symptoms like confusion, hallucinations, delusions, paranoia, obsessive thoughts, and then, of course, tragically, attempts to harm oneself or the baby. this is a completely different entity
Well,
than
and,
postpartum
yeah,
depression.
and postpartum depression far more common.
Absolutely more common, occurs typically more slowly, whereas psychosis appears acutely, days to even weeks. Postpartum depression can be much more gradual, weeks to months.
And what are the warning signs?
And the signs and symptoms of that, more along the lines of depression for anyone else. Appetite changes, a loss of interest, panic, crying, fatigue, anxiety, a fear of being alone with the baby. That also can be a medical emergency. But again, they're really distinct entities. And George, I have to tell you, I've been an OBGYN for 22 years. I have never seen a case of postpartum psychosis. I've seen many, many cases of postpartum depression.
How about treatment?
This is really important. This is really an all hands on deck for anyone around that mother, that new mom, and that baby. And if that woman is having any of these signs or symptoms, asking for help is step number one. You want to contact her obstetrician or midwife, and absolutely intervention is warranted for either. Medication can be life-saving, but if, you know, in that situation, the place to take that woman is an emergency room.
Jen Ashton, thanks
It's
very
a
much.
shame.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel.
Get out of
Lots
this.
of great.
Excuse me, guys. Here we go. Bam. Unbelievable, guys. Postpartum depression. You know, when you have a baby, some women go through that, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I just don't understand how people that were around her every day didn't catch those symptoms, you know. But again, she planned everything. So what happens here is she's pleading not guilty due to the postpartum depression and her freaking out and causing her to kill her 3 kids, which is Lindsay Clancy. She's got 3 counts of murder, indicted for murder on the 3 kids. They have over 300 documents, 300 documents on this case. 11 search warrants, 11 different search warrants on this case. So she was going to be charged with 3 counts of murder on her kids. And that's indicted for murder. Unbelievable. Her husband, who is suffering today, Patrick Clancy. And guys, what do you think about this? Tell me. He wants everybody to forgive his wife. Now, she's alive. She's not dead. We're not over her grave putting flowers on her grave like these 3 kids have to be buried in a funeral for all 3 children at this age. Everybody has to be suffering now. Lindsay is suffering because now she's alive. She has to go through this. She went through the trial, and they did the trial, which I'll show also. She did a trial in the hospital wearing a surgical mask to where they charged her with 3 counts of murder. She's pleading guilty. So now we'll go to trial. Is she going to get off on insanity with postpartum depression and psychosis, mental illness, 12 different types of medication? Does she deserve to go to jail? Does she deserve to get the death penalty? Or she should be put in a hospital for treatment in a psychiatric ward, which they probably do anywhere between 3 to 6 years, and then release her on the streets while her kids died. And their kids did not die in a nice way. Imagine anybody trying to strangle you with a bungee exercise cord. How painful, threatening, scary. The most unbelievable thing a child might have to go through there to see their own mom taking their lives. So what do you guys think? Death penalty, life on all 3 counts, or hospitalization in the psychiatric ward for treatment and to see if we're able to get her better? Because she's a normal woman. Everybody says she's the best mom, the best wife, the best neighbor, great employee, and she delivers babies. So guys, let's talk about this one. Let me know what you think. Unbelievable case. So pray tonight for 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, 8-month-old Kaylin. Because little 8-month-old Kaylin did not die right away. Rushed little Kaylin to the hospital when they called 911 and lived to the next day. The other child died right away. The other child was rushed to the hospital, didn't make it. Such short lives, taken so brutally by their own mom. But now they're little angels in heaven, and hopefully everything's okay with them, guys. So remember, Johnny Gunn's investigation, Thursday night, November 2nd. Beautiful night tonight here in Florida. We got a 48 degrees tonight. Chilly weather, which I love. Not all the time, but every now and then, it's good to have a nice cold front. Light up that fireplace and enjoy. Now, guys, hit that like button, subscribe. Plenty of more stories coming. Tomorrow I have a doozy coming, guys. I'm not even going to give you any hints, but I have a doozy coming tomorrow. So tune in, subscribe. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Thursday night, Johnny Gunn's investigation. And you guys remember, be safe out there. You guys have a great night. Enjoy.